You wanted to see me?
Yes, Paul. Really like the way you dance. No, I mean it. So I figured we'd try this again. Well, for one thing, if you're going to change your name, why go from a Puerto Rican name to an Italian one?
Because I don't look it. People say, you don't look Puerto Rican, you don't look Puerto Rican, but I am.
So you figured you looked Italian?
No, I just wanted to be somebody new. So I became Paul San Marco.
Why did you want to become somebody new?
Why? Not exactly proud of my past.
Who is? That's what the word means, Paul, past.
Well, that's easy for you to say, but for me it was more...
Look, wait. What made you start dancing? Your parents?
No. What do Puerto Ricans know about theater? I mean, now they have Channel 47, but back then they didn't have anything. But my father loved movies, and he'd take us all the time. He worked nights, and he'd come home, and he'd take us to 42nd Street. We'd come out of one movie and go into another and another movie. I don't know why, but I always loved musicals.
How old were you?
7 or 8.
On 42nd Street?
Yeah, it was a trip.
Go on.
I'd have to move down front because I couldn't see. I wear contact lenses now. I'd move down front and these strange men would come and sit beside me and play with me. I never told anybody, I guess because it didn't matter.
Why didn't it matter?
Why? I don't know.
Look, Paul, if this is too rough for you, I have your picture in
No,
resume.
no. Okay. From seeing all those movie musicals, I used to dance around on the street and I called all the time. God, it was embarrassing. I was always being Sid Charisse. Always. Which I don't really understand because I always wanted to be an actor. I mean, I really wanted to perform. Once my cousin said to me, "You'll never be an actor." And I knew she was telling me this because I was such a sissy. I mean, I was terribly effeminate. I always knew I was gay, but that didn't bother me. What bothered me was that I didn't know how to be a boy. One day I looked at myself in the mirror and I said, "You're 14 years old and you're a faggot. What are you going to do with your life?" By then I was in Cardinal Hayes High School. There were 3,000 boys there. I had no protection anymore. No homeroom where I could be funny and charming with the tough guys so they'd fight my battles for me. Not like when I was in small schools. I liked school, but my grades got so bad. Even if I knew the answers to questions, I wouldn't raise my hand because I'd be afraid that they would laugh at me. They'd even whistle at me in the halls. It was awful. Just awful. Finally, I went down to the principal's office and I said, "I'm a homosexual." Well, it was a Catholic school, and at the age of 15, you just didn't say that. So he said to me, "Would you like to see a psychologist?" So I did. And he said to me, "I think you're very well adjusted for your age, and I think you should quit school." So I did. But I didn't really want to. I couldn't take it anymore. See, when I quit school, what I was trying to do was figure out who I was and how to be a man. You know, there are a lot of people in this world who don't know how to be men. Since then, I figured out that I am one. I was looking for the wrong thing. I was trying to learn how to be butch. Anyway, I started hanging around 72nd Street and meeting all these really strange people. Just trying to make friends who were like me, so that I'd understand what it was that I was. Somebody told me they were looking for male dancers for the Jewel Box Review, you know, the drag show. So I go down to audition. Now, from all those years of pretending I was Sid Charisse, I had this fabulous extension. I mean, I could turn anything, my first audition. So they said to me, "Well, you're too short to be a boy. Would you like to be a pony?" And I said, "What's that?" And they said, "A girl." What do I have to do? "Show us your legs." I have hair on my legs. "That's okay, come on upstairs." So I went, and they hiked up my dungarees and put on a pair of nylon stockings and high heels, and it was freaky. It was incredible. Well, they took me back downstairs, and they said, "Oh, you have wonderful legs." And I said, "Really?" "Terrific." It's so strange thinking about all this. It was a whole lifetime ago. I was just past 16. Anyway, then there was this thing of me trying to hide it from my parents. Now that was something, because I had to buy all this stuff, like shoes to rehearse in, earrings, makeup, and I would hide it all, and my mother would find it. I told her there was this girl on the show who didn't want her mother to know what she was doing, and I was holding it for her. She believed me. Finally in show business. It was the asshole of show business, but it was a job. Nothing to brag about. I had friends. But after a while, it got to be so demeaning. You see, nobody at the jewel box had any dignity, and most were ashamed of themselves and considered themselves freaks. I don't know. I guess it was the lack of dignity that finally got to me, so I left. Oh, I muddled around for a while. I worked as an office boy, a waiter. Without an education, you can't get a good job. So when the jewel box called and asked me if I'd come back, I went. We were playing the Apollo Theater on 125th Street, doing 4 shows a day and a movie. It's really tacky. The show was going to go to Chicago. My parents, they wanted to say goodbye, and they were going to bring my luggage to the theater after the show. We were doing this Oriental number, and I looked like Anna May Wong. I had these 2 great big chrysanthemums on either side of my head and this huge headdress with gold balls hanging all over it. Well, I was going on for the finale and coming down the stairs, and who should I see by the stage door? My parents. They got there too early. I freaked. I didn't know what to do. So I thought to myself, I know, I'll just walk quickly by them like all the others, and they'll never recognize me. So I took a deep breath, and I started down the stairs, and just as I passed my mother, I heard her say, "Oh, my God." Well, I died. What could I do? I had to go on for the finale, so I just kept going. After the show, I went back to my dressing room, and after I'd finished dressing and taking off my makeup, I went back downstairs, and there they were in the middle of all these. All they said to me was, "Please write. Make sure you eat, and take care of yourself." And just before my parents turned to leave, my father turned to the producer and he said, "Take care of my son." That was the first time he ever called me that. I
Zach, you want me to bring...
All right, bring him in.